So, hello guys. Anybody here? Somebody? Anybody?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're all here.
Oh, how's it going? You guys debate like Earth shape in here or something?
Yeah. Sounds
Oh,
like
that's
you've
that's
been working
interesting.
on your accent.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is just like how I grew up. It's Brooklyn, you know.
Okay, fair enough. Do you class yourself as somewhat of a master debater by any chance?
Well, you got a fucking freak. What kind of weird shit are you talking about? Fuck is this? I thought we was gonna talk about some Earth shaper here and something.
Okay, what do you think Earth shape is?
I mean, I seen this on the satellite. Looks like a globe to me. Did you guys see something different? What's going on there?
When I go outside, yeah, I don't see that.
What do you see outside that's different?
Flat
I don't see that when I
water.
go outside. I don't know how you could possibly see that when you go outside. What are you talking about?
Yeah, horizon's flat. Surface of water's flat. Yeah,
What do you mean
lakes.
horizon's flat? The horizon's not a two-dimensional plane. It's just like some point of reference. What are you on about?
Yeah, it's horizontal reference.
Wait, do you think that a horizon on like a globe or something is supposed to look different than whatever the fuck you think you're seeing?
No, I don't know what I'd be, seeing on a globe. I'd have
Wait,
to
then
be
how
on
the
one
fuck are
to
you gonna
know.
say? But then how are you gonna say that when you see that horizon that it's showing you that the Earth is flat if you don't even know? Maybe for all you know, that's how it's supposed to look on a globe. You malouk?
Well, I
What are you
could
on
make
about?
the argument. I could make the argument that that the surface of the Earth is one of the components of the horizon, right? And it being
Wait,
horizontal, you would expect that if the Earth is curving, as it would be if it was a sphere, that then the Earth's surface, comprising part of the horizon, wouldn't be horizontal because the Earth's surface is supposed to be curving.
I think that whatever just came out of your mouth was a little confused. So let's do a quick semantic analysis. So you're telling me that when you go out and you look at that horizon, that if we was on a globe that was the size that it's stated to be, that you expect to see something different than what we see. Is that what you're telling me right now?
Yeah, curving surface. That's what I expect
What
to
do you
see
mean
if I
curve
was
and
on a
you
ball.
talked about the horizon. The horizon's not a surface. It's a point of reference. What do you want about?
So it's going to be the extent of your view of the surface where it appears to meet the sky. Okay, and since that is partially the surface of the Earth where it appears to meet the sky, right? And it's supposed to be curving, I wouldn't expect it to look flat.
All right,
No,
so what
I
you're not
probably
talking
wouldn't.
about then is the horizon. What you've been talking about, but failed to articulate is the land that's right in front of the horizon that you're looking at. Something about the surface of the earth that's next to the horizon. You're saying something about the way that that looks,
No.
you think should look different. Is that what you're
The
saying?
horizon, the horizon is comprised of two things, right?
Wait,
Surface and
can
sky.
I get a yes or no to that so we could get
No,
clarity?
no,
Oh, so you're not going to answer with the yes or no.
no. The Earth's surface. So the horizon
Oh,
is
so you're not
comprised of
interested in
two
clarity. I'll
things.
see you around, buddy.
So the
Bro, that was like the quickest rage quit I've ever seen. Holy. I don't even know how you took that guy seriously, T-Dub. That accent was something else.
like, hey, I'm walking here.
Yeah.
Like Neil Cosentino would call it stolen valor, right?
Oh, that's right.
I got a funny inkling that was Joe, aka Master Debater, aka I don't know, whatever else he calls himself. Could be wrong though. Could have been someone else.
You're saying you knew that guy?
Sorry, say again.
Oh, I was just saying you knew that guy that just came in earlier.
Yeah, I got a funny feeling it was Joe,
Oh, I'm
but I
not
could be
familiar
wrong.
with that guy.
He's the one that comes in and says, "Oh, NASA."
Why have I never heard of this? He comes over here in PNR? I don't ever remember seeing him.
Oh wait, am I in PNR? Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if Joe's been in here or not. I don't recall him ever being in here. Yeah, it probably wasn't him then. I don't know.
Who knows?
I mean, the dude was almost like he was saying, okay, you see surface, and then you see horizon, and then you see sky.
I'm surprised you understood him at all, bro. I couldn't follow what the hell he was saying at all.
there's a
That's
lot
what the
more drop,
square
especially from the
miles is
baseline,
for.
right?
That's
Yeah,
what the
so
square.
anyway,
What
Like
he's
it
pointing
almost
out
gets
to
to
you,
like a 90-degree angle, right?
dude. If you were listening to the numbers he told you, don't understand it, right? 8 inches per mile squared. You square the mile, so with distance, the curvature is more.
Yeah, the further you go, the more
Yeah,
the
that's
curvature
what he
drops.
explained. That's what he just explained
That's
to
why
you.
when
Why
you
said,
see objects going
why?
away, they're significantly obscured by a
okay, that's
line.
great. That's a claim again. But did anyone ever measure
That's not a
8
claim.
inches per mile
That's
squared?
a true
Yeah, it
statement.
is a claim
Because
but
you
it's
could
a
see
claim.
a picture. You could look at a picture
Claiming.
and see the thing fucking completely
Gets
obscured.
excited, doesn't he?
Right?
This
But
one.
the tip top of it. I mean, that's not a
Shush.
claim.
It's a
Sure.
claim, but it's a claim you can back up with proof of curvature. Now, the question I'm asking you again is this 8 inches per mile squared. Did anyone measure the Earth and detect this? And what was the method of how they did this?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not no fucking science guy. You have to go to Jim Panda's server and fucking talk to
It's
one
a
of them.
geometry.
Like,
It's a
what's the
geometry
guy?
related
These
question.
Hold on. You have to go talk to Larry because Larry's like a fucking geologist. That's what he does, or some shit.
This isn't
That's his job, so he can probably tell you.
No, that's not a
I could not
geologist.
because I'm just a simple pawnbroker, right? I work at a pawn shop. Fuck, I don't know shit. But I know what I see with my own two eyes, and what I see with my own two eyes is a guy in a spaceship taking video of the Earth, and it looks round to me.
A guy in
Are
a
you a used
spaceship.
globe salesman?
Fuck.
You said you work in a pawn shop. Are you a used globe salesman?
No,
He
we
said
don't
he
sell-
sees
we
guys
don't-
in
I wouldn't
spaceships
buy
with
that.
video
If you
cameras.
brought me in a globe, you know what? Maybe I'd give you $3 for it because I'd probably want it myself personally.
Because that's how much it's worth to you.
Well, yeah, I mean it's a fucking trinket, right?
You know what it's worth for me? Target practice.
Well, you're a flat earther. You think it's flat. I don't know why. I mean, the evidence is
Because
all
it
on
measures
our
flat. I
side,
think it's-
right?
it's-
You just
I
have
know
like
it's flat
weird
because it
phrases
measures
that you
flat.
can come up with and say, "Oh, well, this
It's
is
really weird. He says he's been in this conversation for a while, but he doesn't know why. And when Orion starts telling him why, he starts talking through him.
No, because you
Why did he
weird
say the Earth is flat?
millennials have
Why?
like this
Not a fucking
other
millennial.
speak
Born in
that
76,
works, right?
you prick.
You try to sound
You
scientific,
prick.
you know,
Excuse
with
me.
your other speak, but
Excuse me.
it's not what I grew up with.
Excuse me. What do we say? Why do we say the Earth is flat? Why? Specifically, why?
Because you say it measures flat.
Oh, well done. So it measures flat then, so it's flat because it measures
It doesn't
somewhere.
measure flat though. That's where you're
Oh, it
wrong.
doesn't measure flat.
It doesn't
so
measure
you've got,
flat. I
so
mean, you
you've
couldn't
got
get a
My God,
flat
he's
fucking
gonna keep
surface.
talking.
You go to the fucking salt lakes and everything shows fucking obstruction, and then you explain it away by saying, "Well, it's too far to see."
Excuse me. You're now talking about observation. We're talking about measurements. You said something about obstruction. That's not measurements. Go to Salt
Well,
Flake's
yeah. I
obstruction.
mean, so how far have you
you're
measured?
not following, are you?
How
I know
far
you're
have you
only
measured?
a
Right?
pawnbroker.
How far have you measured?
Me personally, 23
Yes,
miles.
personally, right?
23 miles.
23 miles. Can I see those measurements?
No.
And what did you? Oh no, Jesus Christ!
What?
No, that's fine. Whatever. If you want to keep them to yourself, because you probably saw obstruction and you was like, "Fuck." You
No,
know,
I saw France.
that's interesting. Is
No, I
what
saw
you
France.
said, right?
I saw France. That's what I saw.
Well, that's just an observation. I want to see your measurements. I don't need pictures. I want to see the numbers. Now, I don't know how to do the numbers, but I can take them back to a
You
friend of
don't
mine.
know
And see
how.
what he
See,
says.
this is the thing in question that you were asked earlier. You don't know how to do the numbers. We went through this when you.
I don't think you do either.
8 inches. Sorry, the 8 inches per mile squared. I was the one that corrected you on that. And you want to turn around to me and say I don't either.
You didn't. I said that.
Fuck off.
I
dude.
said it was 8 inches per mile
Per
squared.
mile
You didn't have
squared.
to. You
Or
didn't
something.
have to correct me on it.
Yeah, I did.
How did you correct me?
So anyway, should we get back to this salt flax and you providing observations and we're talking about how it's measured? You understand how you're not following along?
I said I've seen observations.
You've seen observations, yet we're not talking about observations. We're talking about measurements.
Measurements. So, and you refuse to show me your numbers.
No, dude. Seriously.
I mean, essentially, that's what's going on here. Because I may not be able to put the math together. If you're some sort of mathematician or if you're some sort of geologist.
Observer height, distance to the horizon should be 2.8 miles. Distance to Calais from Dover, 23.4 miles. Do you want me to carry on?
No, what did you measure?
It's an observation.
You made an observation.
Mm.
So you didn't actually take any measurements. You just kind of did what Google Earth told you was the distance,
height,
right?
The distance and my height are not measurements.
Well, where'd you get the distance from?
Any map. It's the Dover Strait.
And you saw people standing on the beach on the other side.
Yeah, it's the busiest waterway in the world.
How far away was 23 miles, you said. So you looked across from your beach and saw people standing on the beach at the other side at 23 miles.
No, you see boats pull into the harbour at Calais.
Okay. So you saw boats pulling into the harbor at the other side after 23 miles from your vantage point. What was your vantage point? What was the distance above sea level? 6 feet.
Right? 6 foot.
Right, 6 feet and 23 miles. You saw boats pulling into a harbor 23 miles away. Like the whole boat, everything, not just like the top of the mast. No, you saw boats pulling into the harbor. Presumably with your P900, right?
No, not a P900.
Or something equivalent, right? Maybe a telescope.
Yeah. Now, what equation would I use?
That.
Sorry, hold tight. What equation or mathematics would I use to make the prediction when I should stop seeing things?
What did you say? I'm sorry.
What mathematical equation would I use to figure out, make the prediction when I should stop seeing things at distance?
I don't know. I guess the Earth curvature calculator, right?
Really?
Yeah, I don't fucking know what mathematics you should use. I'm not a mathematician. I'm just a drunk.
Do you think that with distance, objects appear to reduce in angular size, i.e., they look like they get smaller?
Reduce, right? Everything reduces in angular size. Well, that's not
cool. So, can you point out that equation for me within the Earth curve calculator?
What do you mean? Can I
That's
point
the globe Earth prediction of when we should stop.
Is that what you're asking? What should be seen at 23 miles?
Yeah, that's the globe Earth prediction of when we should stop seeing things at distance.
So presumably you know the answer already. So what is supposed to be seen? Nothing, right? Like you should see maybe the tip top of a very tall mast, right? Or according to you, it's supposed to be like 45 miles below sea level or some shit like that. Because I think you're doing the math wrong, right? You think it's supposed to be
what math am I doing wrong?
Crazy drop, right?
Excuse me, what math am I doing wrong? I'm just asking you which math we should apply when making predictions about when we should stop seeing things at distance.
What should be seen?
It's like, if you're not going to listen to me, dude, I'm just going to mute up and not bother talking to you.
I'm asking, with your math that you did,
I know, you're not listening. That's my point.
Can you not answer a fucking question, dude? You just been, like, I don't know, you just keep saying the same thing. And I keep saying the same thing because I'm just trying to ask a question. According to your math, what should be seen? Should anything be seen?
My suggestion to you is focus on finding any example of anyone directly measuring the Earth and detecting 8 inches per mile squared. from that point
Well,
forward.
I could bring my buddy
find that.
Larry in here, right? And he's done this shit, right? Like that's what he does for a living, right? And he's a detective. He could show you. He's got fucking examples and pictures and all kind of shit, right?
Well, then bring Larry in here.
Nah, because you guys would just mute him like right straight away.
Only if he yells cuss words over and over again.
No. He's just a real nerdy guy, right? He knows this shit. I'm just a fucking retard that fucking, I stumbled across Flat Earth, I don't know, 10 years ago, and I kind of, this is a community that accepts me as a fucking fool, right? And, I'm not totally convinced it's, what they say. It is. I saw the Apollo videos and shit where they took video of the Earth, and I was like, man, it looks round, so I'll go with that, right?
Let me ask you this fun question. Does high pressure move to low pressure?
Well, yeah. I mean, but there's a force acting. If there's a force acting against it, then maybe it would like achieve some sort of equilibrium, right?
Well, let me ask it to you this way.
Kind of like buoyancy, right? When you're
does high pressure always move to low pressure, or does it just do it sometime?
Well, no, there's an equilibrium that can be achieved if there's a force acting against it, kind of like buoyancy.
Yeah,
right?
I know what equilibrium
heavy,
is. But
I hate to repeat this to you, but when you're super heavy and you drop into the ocean, let's say in the Marianas Trench, at some point you're going to stop sinking because you've reached because there's a force acting against you. Right, it's not just your force of falling down. Right, there's a force at some point
you're
act against you.
Sidetrack here. I was trying to not. I wasn't trying to talk about the ocean as much as I like talking about the ocean.
No, you're talking about space, but it's same kind of analogy. At some point, there's a force acting against the pressure in the atmosphere that is counteracting the vacuum of space. Right.
So does high pressure move to low pressure every time? Yes.
Yes.
Or no? Okay, so.
Right, so why isn't the Earth all sucked up from atmosphere because of space? Right?
I was going to say it a slightly more elaborate way, but sure.
And you didn't get my analogy at all.
I did, but it didn't pertain to what I was talking about. Well, it wasn't an analogy, I don't think.
Obviously, there's a force acting against.
Yeah, no, I get the claim,
space,
buddy.
Right?
Hold on, buddy. I get the claim. I get the belief. I used to believe it myself. I understand every word that you're saying. You understand that, right? Like, I used to believe exactly what you're saying. I used to believe that. You realize that, right? Like, it's not like you're saying anything I haven't heard 100 times before in documentaries and read in books.
It's not like you're saying anything I haven't heard 1,000 times before. A vacuum of space should have sucked the air dry.
Oh, okay, so then let me ask you then. Do you know of any time that anyone's demonstrated gas pressure without a container due to gravity?
Well, yeah, you just walk outside. And the higher you go, the thinner it gets. I mean, you can't get a better demonstration than that.
When I walk outside and I breathe 14.7 psi at sea level, I'm trying to get you to prove to me your claim that that's caused by gravity. So you just
it doesn't have to be caused by gravity because it could be caused by.
Hold on, buddy. You're just repeating the claim with what you just said. You just repeated the claim again. So you didn't prove it. You didn't actually demonstrate.
I said nothing about gravity.
You just repeated the claim. It's an affirmative.
Let's call it flibbity gibbet.
Affirmative consequence logical fallacy is what it is.
Let's call it flibbity gibbet. Right? Because when you walk outside and you stand at sea level, you have a certain PSI. But when you move up a certain number of feet, it's less, right? PSI. Right?
Delta.
And you move up even further and it's even less PSI. So what causes that? I mean, gravity, pressure doesn't, disperse like that. I mean, it's usually a quick moving force, right? Why is it getting less and less and less as you go up? Or are you claiming that's fake?
I'm not claiming it's fake. I acknowledge that. That's just a pressure gradient, just like how there's a pressure gradient in the ocean.
Right. Exactly. There's a gradient. So why would it? Why would all the Earth's atmosphere be sucked off into space if it's a gradient?
Well, there's just
So there's
gradients
obviously
everywhere.
something holding it down here.
Hold on. Are you saying that there wouldn't be? Are you saying there wouldn't be a pressure gradient if we were inside a container? What are you saying?
For the well, maybe as soon as you do it, but eventually it would equalize. It would equalize.
But that doesn't make any sense. Like, you don't know how big the container is, and that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why would you say that? That's just a silly nonsense. Like, what are you talking about?
It's true though. Eventually, in a container, the pressure will equalize, and when you pop the top of the container, I mean,
Yeah, but how
you
big
can
of a
almost,
container are we talking about?
physically feel
What kind of container are we talking about? Like,
Oh, who cares? Eventually it would equalize, right? But
where do you
on this
observe there
Earth,
not
it
being?
hasn't equalized, right? Oh, so if it's big, maybe it takes a long time. Okay, we'll go with that.
I'm just saying, man. Like, there's no reason to think that just because the air gets thinner as you go up, that there's a 10 to the negative 17 torr vacuum, trillions of miles across, above your head, side to side, and beneath you.
I mean, there's no reason to think that there's a cap on it either, right?
Well, what's the definition of gas pressure? Do you know? I'll repeat it to you. I'll enlighten you. I'll remind you. The definition of gas pressure is the force exerted on the walls of the container by the gas particles inside of it. We have air pressure here, just gas pressure. So as far as we know, we're inside a container, as far as we can demonstrate or define.
Right, so what's containing us?
A container.
I need a little more than that. Go ahead and make the assertion from the Bible.
Well, when you go and get a steak dinner at a restaurant, do you ask them what color the fur of the cow is or was when you get the steak?
I don't get that one. Maybe I'm drunk. I don't get that one.
Well,
no, I don't think me asking about the cow.
If you have a steak dinner,
is like me asking about what's containing Earth.
If you have a steak dinner, you know that a cow existed, because you can't have a steak dinner without the cow coming first.
No, this is some bullshit fallacy you're about to play here. I forget what's
it's an antecedent relationship. You know what an antecedent relationship is?
Right? It's a fallacy in what you're about to do here, right?
Okay,
if there's no cow, I can't have steak. Therefore,
yeah,
if there's no container, we can't have pressure.
It's a fallacy, but you can't say what fallacy is, right?
That's a load of nonsense. There is a container, right? There is a container. There is a force acting, because that's all a container is. Just because you put a lid on it doesn't mean, you put a lid on it. No, there's a force acting against, like that's how physics work. The lid is the force. Right, so there is a force acting against. So even if you're in your weird little world where there's a firmament up there, right, that is still a force acting against. Right, it's not just some. I don't know. You guys think it's magic, anyways. I don't know. Go ahead.
What's magic? Gravity containing gas pressure, which you cannot demonstrate. That would be magic because you can't demonstrate it. It's just a fictional thing.
But not like at a small scale.
Gravity.
It can be demonstrated in larger scales, right?
It cannot be demonstrated, period.
I mean, the Earth is the demonstration, right? And we've been above it to where we can look down and see what it looks like.
So, see, this is the point where I'm trying to show you that's a blind belief on your part. I used to have that belief. I no longer have that belief. I'm waiting for someone to prove it to me.
And what proof would you accept? What would have to happen?
A demonstration of gas pressure without a container, like 36 pounds per square inch around the rim of my car without the tire due to gravity.
I mean, that's absurd because you're living in that demonstration right now where you have gas pressure lower than where you're standing, where it's high, and then just a bit lower than you, it's fucking, you wouldn't be able to breathe. Or just a bit higher than you wouldn't be able to breathe. Right?
Yeah, so this is the point where you just said that's absurd, and now I'm trying to say to you, yeah, no kidding, that's absurd, because your belief that gas pressure can be contained by gravity, that's an absurd belief. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I just consider gravity a force that's acting against it. It can be called flibbity gibbet for all I care, you know?
Yeah,
there's some force acting against.
That makes more sense than gravity. Flibbity gibbet. Hell yeah. Maybe I'm going to sign up for some flibbity gibbet.
Well, yeah, because they don't quite know what the fuck is going on here, right? Like why this happens. We have theories,
Oh, we
right?
do. It's
Scientific theories that have been demonstrated to be mostly true, probably. But there's some other
No,
theories. There's some other theories
made
that's
up
come along
bullshit.
that's kind of said, "Hey, we need to rework this." I admit
Theoretical
that.
horseshit.
Right?
What it's called. Theoretical shit.
Well, as opposed to what? Like your blind belief that it's flat and
Factual.
stationary and God
No,
put you
dude,
here
what are you
for a
talking about?
reason.
It is stationary. You freaking know that because it's not moving. Do you feel anything moving? Do you ever look out across the freaking ocean?
Again, your blind
See it pretty
belief.
far. No, that's fact. Look at that. You can feel it yourself. That's not blind belief. That's factual, freaking accurate
Well, that
data.
doesn't
It's an
because I've
observation,
been on
technically.
moving objects before, right? That I didn't feel like I was moving, right? And if you were born on an object that was moving, do you think you would know? Like if someone put
Yeah, I
you on a
think if I was born
stationary
on the back
object,
of a freaking
you think
horse,
you think you would
I think
know?
I'd know because my mom would be
A
bouncing up and
horse? I
down.
mean, we're not. Oh, come on, a horse. That's a terrible
Well, what the
analogy. A
fuck? No, who
horse.
Some
cares?
people are born on
So you're
ships, but most
bucking
people
up
that are
and
born on
down as
ships
you
know that
run
they're on
through the solar
ships.
Well,
system.
you said if you were born on something moving, I mean, good. I mean, what the hell? You're talking about a
Right. So
freaking
if you're born on a
2,000
plane, you would
mile per
know.
hour fucking merry-go-round. You're born on that. You're
Dude,
born
if
on
you
the
were born
1,000
on a
mile an hour
plane,
merry-go-round, dude.
I shit you
Can you
not, if you were
imagine?
born on a plane and you were flying around for 30 years and then all of a sudden the plane stopped and you had to get out, you'd be fucked.
So what you're
It
telling
just,
us
Yeah,
is
you
you
dude.
think
don't
it
You
know
sounds
get
that.
reasonable
land
what you're
sickness
saying.
like
Hello,
fucking
check.
in
Yeah.
water
So
world.
so what you're
You
telling
get
us is
land
you don't.
sickness.
Yeah. Hello. What you're telling us is you don't know you're on an object that's moving. You were born here, right?
I certainly wasn't born on Mars or
Okay.
Jupiter. Jupiter spins faster than us. Like you
All
can
right. So you
observe
don't know that
that,
it's moving then
right?
because
You
you were
can
born on
actually
it.
look and see
Yeah.
that.
You don't know that it's moving then because you were born on it, like you said.
Well, yeah, right. You don't know it's moving because you're born on it. You wouldn't feel it. I mean, that's my point, right?
Yeah. You don't know.
You're
Yeah.
born here. If you're born on this planet that's moving, and then someone put you on a planet that wasn't moving, you'd be fucked, right? You're like, oh shit,
What?
there'd be some sort of disability that would afflict you.
What's he talking about?
I don't know. He's melting down.
Dude, it's Flibbity Gibbet. Didn't you hear him?
Yeah. So you just told us that you
I mean, it's
don't
a
know that
better
you're on a
argument
thing
than
that's
you
moving
guys
because
have.
you were born here. You can't tell. You can't tell that it's moving, so you don't know that it's moving.
That was my point.
Yeah. You don't know. Okay. Cool. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Is the only way to feel that it's moving to be on the ground? Could you look towards the stars and maybe figure something out? Or do you have to feel like a car taking off, right? Do
You
you have to
kind of
feel
call it a
that jerk
paradox.
to the back, right? I'm asking.
Kind of, yes,
Is
kind
that
of.
okay?
You can make several assertions about what is moving relative to what the thing is, but without actually measuring any motion, then it's just what? Nothing. And the fact that we don't measure any motion is kind of on our point. Everybody just makes excuses as why we wouldn't expect to feel any motion because we're born here.
Yeah, I put it forth before Jedi that there should be a measurement of energy that's used for this motion. Like I could walk at a pace where I can't even feel that I'm moving, but there's energy being used. So this whole "I can't feel it" argument is bunk because there would be energy at work required for movement. No energy being used, no moving.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting super stoned right now. I mean, I'm trying to keep y'all entertained. Sorry. Just give me a moment. All right. So, to me, I don't give a fuck. I don't really care. Like, if I woke up tomorrow, if we all woke up tomorrow and it was proven that the earth was flat, my life wouldn't change much, right? I would still have to go to work, because money's still a thing. And then, of course, the only thing that would change, and there would be a change, right? I would have to, like, pick a religion, right? Like, who should I'd probably be the Christians, right? Obviously.
What
You
do
know.
you need to pick a religion?
Well, yeah, because if the earth is
Rid of
flat and we're
your
covered by a dome, there's clearly a
asteroid
God that put us
insurance?
here.
Did you get rid of your asteroid insurance tomorrow if you found out the Earth was flat?
I don't have asteroid.
Space
What?
wasn't real?
Is that a thing?
You don't?
Yeah,
Dude,
but
what
would
kind of
you go to?
responsible freaking glober are you without
Is that a
asteroid
thing?
insurance?
That's not a thing.
Well, what do you
You
mean?
go to
You live
work,
in
but you don't
space.
get
You
money.
could get hit. Get hit, dude. I sell it.
Well,
I sell
clearly
it.
shit's falling out of the sky, right? That it wasn't, like, put up
Sure,
there
so
by
where's your
man,
asteroid
right?
insurance? Where's your
You
asteroid
mean like
insurance, dude?
balloons are falling from the sky?
No, I'm talking about pieces of the firmament, right?
What
That's been,
the
like
fuck is going on now? Now pieces of
big
the
chunks
sky
of
are falling
ice
out
and
of the sky.
shit.
What?
Yeah, why did you say clearly things are falling out of the sky? Who's that clear to?
Liberty gibbet roids.
Sorry, guys, I'm moving around. You guys, why don't you guys ever go in the Jim Panda server and argue with them fucking crackers?
That
He's a
fucking
douche.
idiot.
I've never even been there.
Well, Jim, if you could keep Jim out of the argument.
Yeah, sorry about that, man. But it looks like you said a TOS violation word. So I gotta mute you.
Liberty gibbet? Oh man, I can't believe they put that on the TSOL. Damn it.
It's true, man. Can't say flibbity gibbets.
Liberty gibbet, man.
Wait, what's the word?
Saltine.
Saltines?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's not my rule.
I don't even know. Oh, I get it. I remember now. It's all teams. I was like, what? Yeah, he did say
You
that.
kidding
I
me?
didn't
You
know that's a
can't
bad
say
word.
that as a freaking white dude. You can't even say it.
Don't
Nah,
say
man,
even
you
what.
as
can't
a
be
joke?
racist against your own
Oh,
self.
somebody, somebody said they just use neighbors and something like crickets. Neighbors, neighbors, and crickets. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Begins with N, ends with S. Neighbors. Yeah, Skylab insurance would have paid off 1 year. And Skylab
Is anyone going to
traded.
talk about? Okay, when I'm talking, you shouldn't be. Is anyone going to talk about the room topic or not? Like, what the fuck we doing here? All right, what the fuck?
Yeah, you're right, man. That's a good point. You're up, man. Like, where do you sit? Flat, globe, concave? Where you at?
Globe, obviously. Come on, man.
All right. How did you come to that knowledge?
Wow, I guess just
My teacher told me.
Well, yes, that. Of course, that's why
Media
everyone
insurance
starts.
do you own? How much do you own?
That's why I started believing it.
Media
But I
insurance.
start median. I don't own any. Let's stay on topic. Thank you. I started concluding for.
Yeah, Mage, you're gonna have to turn off your video first, man. It limits the room and the bandwidth.
Media insurance
Plus, your
not on
your
topic.
mic is just fine, man. But if you don't turn off your video, we're gonna have to kick you.
Okay, all right, man. I'm not going to disagree with the mods of the room. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press that little button there. Just going to turn my little camera off right here.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, you were saying you came to know the Earth in some way.
Why do we see this dickhead?
Oh, I clicked the wrong button. So
There you go,
the
man.
reason I know that the Earth is a globe is when I without my teacher telling me or without having to rely on any NASA footage or anything like that, I encountered scientific evidence.
All right. So you encountered it, huh? Okay.
That's
Scientific
right.
evidence for a shape.
We're shutting the server down tonight.
That's right. They ran an experiment, the Rainy Lake experiment, and they concluded from observation, from measurement, that the Earth was a globe.
So was this an observation, was it a measurement, or was it an experiment?
Well, and I'm not sure if you know, experiments involve making predictions and observing if they come true.
Are experiments measurements?
Not in and of themselves, but you have to
Okay.
measure something to do an experiment, yes.
What's their deep? So this is an experiment.
This is an experiment. It's comparing a controlled...
What's the dependent variable?
Dependent variable in this case would be, so if the independent variable is the, let me think, I think it was the posts, the height of the posts is the thing that they can control, and where they measure, like whether or not the, what do you call it, the theolite, whether or not the theolite device maps onto the posts, that's going to be your dependent variable.
So observe natural phenomenon whether theolite maps onto posts.
I don't know what you mean by that. Every time a flat earther brings up natural observed phenomenon, they think like you have to observe it in nature in order for you to do a scientific experiment on it.
That's what you're going to be using a scientific experiment for, is to elucidate the causes.
You find me like, okay, every other step of the scientific process.
Now you're melting down, right? You're going to spiral out now.
You can't find me an expert or anyone who says that you have to observe something in nature before you can run an experiment on it. That's often how we listen.
You're done listening now, right? You're just going to start melting down, right? Yeah, figures. Yeah, so you're going to have to observe some phenomenon in nature, and then you're going to suppose a cause for it, and that's what your experiment's going to be for. You're going to try to test whether that cause is indeed the cause. That's what you're doing with an experiment.
That's not all what science
I don't
is.
think you
Can you
understand
find
that.
me
So
some
just trying to bring you up to speed.
philosopher of science that agrees with you?
I'm just trying to get you to like maybe a 5th grade level, science acumen here.
Yeah, I'm sure you are at a 5th grade level, but in the
I'm
big
trying to get
leagues,
you
my
there.
friend,
We're trying to
in the
get
big
you
leagues,
up to
nobody
that
defines
par.
it that way. Nobody uses the word cause. Because
Yeah,
that's
they
a
do.
philosophical
Yeah,
word.
that's literally what the
philosophical
independent
concept.
variable is. So anyway, what's the natural observed phenomenon for your experiment? What was observed in nature that we're going to test
Well,
the cause?
let's not move topics, my friend. You still
Well, you moved
believe that you
topics in
need
the
to have
first
a
place because you
cause
claimed a
in order to
shape.
do an experiment?
Well, you moved topics because you claimed a
What is
shape.
it? Can you tell me what a cause is?
And then you switched off of geometry into science. So you're the one who moved the topic, dude. I didn't do that. It's your fault.
Okay, what is a cause?
You don't know what a cause is.
No, it's a purely philosophical term. What is a cause?
Well, I guess you definitely won't be able to put any sort of hypothesis together if you don't know what a cause is. All right, we can just move on to the next guy.
If you're going to be a coward, go ahead. Can't define your own terms. You love asking questions, but then when the dozens are turned around on you, you can't answer. Go
That kind of makes
ahead.
a lot
Move
of
on to the
sense,
next
actually.
guy.
That's why you think that you're going to use experiments to determine what shape something is, because you don't even know what a cause is. All right, well, I guess that kind of checks out.
I guess you don't either, because you would just define
the
it
thing
if
that
you knew.
gives rise to a phenomenon in this case. So
something that gives rise to a phenomenon.
Yeah.
What the hell? What the hell does that mean?
Okay, so
gives
what's
rise to?
Yeah, so what's phenomenon? So what's give? So just ask me what
We know what a phenomenon is, but what the hell do you mean gives rise to? Like, if even philosophers don't define
basic
cause
English
that
is
way.
too much for you to comprehend.
You could use
You
the
have no
material.
idea
You
what's
could use the
going on.
material conditional to define it. You could
You have
say if
absolutely
and
no idea
only
what's
if,
going on now. You're just in a
and
complete
that has a
meltdown.
well-defined meaning. What the hell does give rise to mean?
So you're
I don't know what the
baffled
fuck-
that
I
quickly.
don't know what the fuck that. What does that mean?
So you're that easily stumped, dude.
No,
That's
I
all it
just
took
think
to
deeply
absolutely
about this
stun
and
you.
read and have
So the word
formal
cause
take on
absolutely
this.
bricked you, dude. So just the word cause completely bricked you. You have no clue what's going on. Cause and effect, completely alien to you. You don't comprehend it at all. Makes no sense to you. You have no idea what we're trying to talk about when we just say these simple terms, cause and effect.
Yeah, I
Unfathomable
don't,
to you.
and I don't think you do either.
Well, of course you don't. That's why you think that you're going to use a method that's designed to elucidate the cause of an effect to determine what shape something is. It's not a cause and effect category, so it's clear that you're having this problem. At least we got this figured out. We can troubleshoot here, so this is good.
You could be like David Lewis and define causation as in terms of a counterfactual dependence.
Yeah, but
like A
who
causes
cares? Why would
B
we do
if
that?
had A not occurred, B would have not occurred.
But why would we devolve into that, dude?
You could use Hume's definition.
but why
You could use a lot of different definitions. Clearly, you don't know what you're talking about.
But why would we derail into that? Something's happening in nature.
No, that's exactly
Any
the
other person
point.
is just
Like,
going to go, what's
we shouldn't,
causing that?
because science doesn't need to. We can just talk about things in terms of independent and dependent variable. So you're the one that brought cause up. I'm just the one that
that's what the
finished it for
independent
you.
variable is. So the dependent variable is basically the effect observed, the phenomenon observed in nature. The independent variable.
I've never heard of a scientist who says that.
The independent variable is going to be the cause. Yeah, because you don't know any scientists, dude, and you couldn't name a single experiment if your life depended on it. That's why you think this is an experiment. So an independent variable is going to be the cause that you supposed of the phenomenon that was observed in the natural world. I'm just trying to find out from you what the natural phenomenon was that was observed first that you want to suppose a cause for.
I don't know where you got this idea that it's a prerequisite to observe a natural phenomenon.
All right, that's done. That's good enough on that. Let's see. So it's clearly a category error experiment. Let's try to fix this up for you. Do you have a measurement of the globe? Because that's actually what you're going to be applying to this question. It's a shape. You're going to use measurement to try to determine shape, not experiment. So we don't really need to dwell on that any longer. If you still don't get it, I mean, that's your loss. I think the audience has heard enough of it by now, though. So, do you have any measurement you could provide for this shape claim?
I have an experiment I can provide for you.
Yeah, okay, you're cooked. See you later.